Three, two, one. And we're live. Are we live? I think we're live. I hope we're live. I don't know when this thing starts recording, but good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I share with you headlines from the news feed and from my news feed and thoughts, ideas, perspectives on those headlines. It's not designed to be an in-depth analysis of the news. Is designed to give us an overview of what's going on in the world, sort of kind of through headlines, so we can start to see the forest and not get lost in the trees. That way we can look at the forest and create a plan to navigate our way through the two. Hey, what's up? Thanks for coming on the live, and thanks for liking. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of those other good things. We're working on 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm only like 40 away from Hot 500. Every single subscriber is like a... So I appreciate everybody who's a subscriber, and I know all of y'all are, right? Good. I appreciate you. Thank you. Dang. Let's see what Habaragani. Thank you for the flower, Bonafide 1970. Habaragani. You'll say? Okay, let us look. I want to get to that page I was on yesterday. Oh, Kaumba. Ooh, I like Kaumba. You're the best one. You know the principles, meaning of Kwanzaa. Anacostia Community Museum. What's the Anacostia Community Museum? Okay, let's see. Let us see. Oh, I went to this one the other day and I was like, I don't want to go to them. So let's stay away from that one. Because they don't have the Kwanzaa. Hello, Bonafide 1970. Kaumba. I think that's my second favorite of the 7 principles. I think self-determination, dang, I can't even think of the word now. But I think that word is my favorite word, Kujichagulia, of the 7 principles. And then I think Kaumba is my second favorite. Kaumba means creativity. And this site suggests the action. How can we make the community better and more beautiful? Now, usually when I hear Kaumba, I like the part where they say better and more beautiful when I leave than when I came there. And I really like that concept. Whether it's like I'm leaving this world, I'm leaving the earth. Did I make the world more beautiful? And also, like if you leave a space, if you leave a person's vibration, did you make it more beautiful? Did you make, like, are you adding value? Are you adding value or are you not adding value? How can you add value? How can you make the world more beautiful? That is the challenge. That's the opportunity. That's the question. Yes. Okay. I put on my jacket because I was cold. Now I'm warm. It's just like finding that let's see what the Buddha is saying. Finding that perfect, finding that mix, finding that right place. Oh, I'm on my wrong email. Let me go to my right email. Welcome in the chat. Thanks for being here. We're going to see what the Buddha says so we can try to get we got Kaumba as our theme. Very simple. Just look at what zero is doing and do the exact opposite. Absolutely not. Zero don't even exist. So how can I look at zero? I'm looking at you. I'm trying to follow it behind what you're doing. I'm looking to some people who seem like they have some sense and some consciousness and some love and vitality. With good... Oh, didn't we do that one yesterday? Oh, I think we did. Oh, here it is. Okay. Un momento, por favor. One truly is the protector of oneself. Who else could the protector be? With oneself fully controlled, one gains a mastery that is hard to gain. So I want to start at the end of that. gains a mastery that's hard to gain. The hardest thing to master, I believe, in my experience, is yourself. Partially because you can't really master anybody else. But mastering yourself, or mistressing yourself, or managing yourself is a job. It's a big job. I never realized how out of control I was until I started trying to manage myself in a productive way. When I started doing cleanses, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really cuckoo crazy when it comes to eating and things like that. I had no idea. I just thought I ate what I want, I eat when I want to eat, and that's what I do. I didn't even know I was thinking like that. But when I was like, I'm going to choose something different, then it was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if I don't get some potato chips right now? And I was choosing to do it. So, and it was temporary, but it was very enlightening. And the same thing when I sit to meditate, I'm like, this is what's going to happen if I don't know? It's like, just chill, girl, just chill. And you watching yourself, you're like, she is really crazy. That's me. She crazy. She is a hot mess. So managing yourself is that's a full-time, that's a full-time, that's a full lifetime job. That's a full lifetime occupation. You can occupy a whole day with trying to manage yourself, a whole lifetime with trying to just get a hold of yourself. Okay, so with oneself fully controlled, one gains a mastery that is hard to gain. Who else could the protector be if not you? If you're not here for yourself, if you're not looking out for yourself, if we're not here for our families, if we're not looking out for our families, if we're not here for our communities, if we are not looking out for our communities, who else could the protectors be? So anyway, that's what the Buddha is talking about today. One truly is the protector of oneself. All right, so I didn't finish looping back through my news feed, so it's gonna be a little bit slow as we go on. But Kuumba, I don't use any cleanse. Usually, if I go on a cleanse, I will, like, I might do the master cleanse. So I guess then I'm using that, like what some people call lemonade, but it's lemon juice, water, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup, but a particular grade. You can Google it. And then sometimes I'll do like just juices, fresh juices. I've done a day or two of water. Sometimes I'll like step down to water and then step back up. So like do a day, eliminate this, a day, eliminate this, a day, eliminate this, a day, eliminate this, get to water, add this, add this, add this, add this, and then woo, I'm free. Or else I'll do 10 days of all raw or 3 days of all raw. It's been a minute I've gotten out of my loop, but usually what I try to do is I coordinate it with the universal energies. So when there's a change of season, I think of that as masculine energy. The sun is, we're changing seasons. We're looking at the sun. And so I coordinate it with the new moon. So it's between the new moon and the first new moon after the sun changes, the equinox, or, the halfway point, and then the other points, the equinox and the other thing. Then, so it might be 3 days, it might be 10 days, whatever kind of spaces in between the change of season and the first new moon. I usually do a cleanse then. So yeah, I haven't ever really looked into any of those types of products because I don't think I really understand the concept exactly. So I'm like, well, I don't understand. I know a lot of people, I hear a lot of people referring to them, but yeah, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just like, you're like, okay, thank you. Okay, enough. Watch Rihanna prove that she's the queen of shade when reporter asks if she's attending the royal wedding. I don't know why, I just think Rihanna is very, the little bit I know about her. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I watched a couple of her videos this morning, Sister Ajali, on the Radical Sister page, and I recommended one very highly to everyone today. So if you didn't watch the video I posted up earlier, go watch Healing Sexual Abuse in the Black community and ourselves, something. But the video before this links, there should be a link right to that video, or go to her page. She posted it up this morning, so it shouldn't be. But I think it's an excellent piece. She does. It's a lot of interesting. I enjoy her perspective, so I'll have to check that out. So anyway, I just think that I like her as a young person, Rihanna as a young person who seems really self-contained in a way. I enjoy that about her. Um, you can rate your Uber driver during your trip. Um, yeah. Donald Glover responds to claims he can't be woke while loving someone of a different race. What do you think? It does seem like there's like a compromise. I don't know. I've never been involved. Somebody posted on one of my videos, ew, you date white men or something like that. I was so confused, but not confused enough to respond, but I was just thinking about that. But I've never dated anybody who wasn't Black. But it seems like when I thought about it, it seemed kind of confusing to me, like just reconciling like who I am, what my values are, how I move in the world, what my belief system is, and like how do I reconcile that with dealing with this person? Like it just seemed like I couldn't like really. So I don't know, maybe, some people have some, perspective on it that serves them. I don't know. I never had I can't imagine a situation where it would even be worth it for me to figure something like that out, but I don't know. They say you just, it ain't no accounting for love. So maybe I'll just like, I don't know. I can't imagine it because I don't even normally, I don't know. But so I didn't look at the article. I don't think I'm going to look at the article. I think that somewhere in part of me, and maybe it's just like as a Black woman, like the rejection factor is sort of like, like there are certain people in Black African academia who I feel like, they talk Black and they're married, white, bright, light, damn near white. I can't tell if they white or not. And I find that to be very confusing. And then I start feeling a different way about their work. I don't know how to, so like, I just kind of feel like, I mean, you talking all of this about you love Black, but I don't understand. The most intimate and basic love is like, it starts here in your person and then it moves out into the world. So I don't understand. So I don't know if there's anything for him to say to me, but in case you're interested in what he said, and I guess, it's interesting to me that he's engaging in a conversation about it, I guess. But it's on Atlanta Black Star. So, Ramadan fast. Should children give up food and water? Now, the thing about the Ramadan fast is kind of interesting to me, as I understand it. I'm not Muslim, so I've never participated in a Ramadan fast. But my understanding, or the sense that I get from the people that I know who are Muslim, like just being on the outskirts, is that they can eat before, like when the sun is up, you do not eat. But when the sun is down, you can eat. And so I always had the impression that people would get up like real early in the morning, like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and they having like a big meal. And then 6, 7 o'clock, when the sun go down, they having a big meal. So I guess my experience with cleansing is a little bit different from that. So it always, and I mean, yeah, so I don't know, I don't know, there's some nutritionists who say, 5 small meals a day are good. The Black Muslims in Detroit, a lot of them eat one big meal in the middle of the day, and they say that that's good. I mean, I think everybody's system is probably different. So I don't know, like if the children are eating once or twice a day, is that really I mean, I know it is a fast because there's a discipline involved with it, but it's not like they going for days without food. So I don't know. I didn't read the article, so I don't know what their theory is. That was the BBC World News. Okay. Milwaukee Black Panthers step up to demand action after brutal arrest of teen in mall parking lot. This is coming off of Atlanta Black Star. I'm just seeing this now. I didn't even know that there were Milwaukee Black Panthers. I think here in Detroit, we have like the new Black Panther movement organization. And it seemed like there's some other law, or the new Malcolm, there's, I think it's like a new Malcolm X movement, or, it's different organizations. So I didn't know there, but anyway, um, so they're stepping up to demand action, after the brutal arrest of a teen in a mall parking lot. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna leave that without comment. Um, double amputees via Boyu makes history woke after one has already entered into a relationship with someone of another race if that person came across into consciousness. Yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think, like, I don't like, I guess because I think I would probably be like very like bitter and angry if I had like never been in any loving good relationships with men, like, but I feel like I've been in loving good relationships with men, so it's difficult for me to like be like too upset about somebody else being in a relationship or what somebody else is doing. Like, I ain't gonna date his behind anyway, so it's not really that relevant to me personally. But like in the abstract, it hurts my abstract feelings. Consciousness and accompanying sense of pride afterward. They might not want to abandon that relationship, especially if marriage and children are involved. Right. I had heard a rumor that they have a child, but he had said he would never, I don't know, he would never marry a white woman, so he not married to her, but I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that, life is complicated. And we're human beings. And so prayers out to all of us. We're trying to do the best that we can. I think each and every one of us are, even though it may appear different to some of us. Like, I think from the outside looking in, it's easy to be judgmental of the choices that other people have made. And usually I think that's a reflection of us being extra judgmental of ourselves. And like, I think it's a lot more loving and acceptance of ourselves that can go on. So, um, Samuel L. Jackson responds to fan who claims actor was rude to him. Okay, so that's from the news feed. So let me see what I had already pulled down. Samuel L. Jackson, I don't know if he's rude or not, but he certainly has like a brash persona, like his reputation. He seems to be. Um, yeah, situations change, you learn, you grow, you figuring stuff out, you trying to do the best you can, you trying to feel good about yourself. It's a lot of things that can impact, how you feel about yourself and your value and your worth. And like, I think it's complicated. I think it's very complicated. I think it's very complicated. And I just wish you all well on your journey. I ain't from Wakanda. Michael B. Jordan rejects white interviewer's Wakanda salute, and we're watching it on repeat. So I don't know what's up. I guess the person is like, do the Wakanda salute. And the man is like, I'm not from Wakanda. You do the Wakanda salute. I guess he like, you not gonna like, I'm not a monkey. You can't make me perform. Or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he tired of people coming up to him being like, oh, Carlton, do the Carlton. Or whatever. I don't, sometimes these, actor people get tired of, if they're known for something, sometimes they get kind of annoyed by it. They want to move on. Or maybe he should, I don't know. But anyway, they're watching it on repeat. I haven't seen it once. A passenger's complaint about a pungent odor got a Nigerian woman booted from a flight. I remember when I first went away to college, and we had washing machine and dryers on every floor, and I would always notice when I went into the if you think the same way at age 50 as you did at 20, you wasted the last 30 years of your life. Muhammad Ali. Yep, exactly. My eighth grade teacher, seventh grade, Mrs. Canfield, when you little kids, you'd be like, she didn't say that before. She changed. That's not what she said before. And Miss Canfield would be like, well, she's human. She should change. She should grow and change. And we'd be like, oh, because Miss Canfield was our favorite teacher. We were just like, huh. But inside, we were secretly like, she can't change. But it stuck with me. So like, oh, can people change? Is that okay? Over the years, I thought about it. When I would go to the laundry room, there were like two or four on the floor. I think there were four on the floor because it looped it. It was like a square that connected, and I go into the dryer, and whenever I would open the dryer, a lot of times I feel like 90% of the time there would be this smell, and I could never really figure out what it was. And then at some point, I just decided it was like white people smell. So I don't know. Um, Lifelong endeavor. That's right. Um, so I don't know, maybe I didn't, it made me wonder, like, since I've been around black people all my life, maybe black people have a smell that I don't know nothing about. I can't smell it because it's me, it's all around. I don't know. But I definitely know that in those dryers, that's where I would smell it. And that's the only time that I've like, you know, been intimate in that way with white people. I never like standing next to somebody. I've never been close enough to smell anything that seemed to be a pattern, but it was like I used different machines and, so, I don't know. And I don't know if the punch and order odor, I know, or their perception of it. Because I know sometimes, like when I worked with the black hole and with different places, you would get clothes. And a lot of times the clothes would smell really good. And I think it was like a particular type of incense that later on we started selling. It wasn't like the stick. It was like, I can't remember what that brand was, but it was like a really good, high quality, expensive. Hey, Yapo, we smell fabulous. That's right to us, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't, but it was this particular, but it seemed like it would stay on, like if you got cloth, it would be on the cloth, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was wonderful. And then also people's spices. Like I remember when I would go, like in Little India, New York, before I ever went to India. And like, I'd be like, ew, I'm not eating that food because it does not smell good to me. It does not appeal to my olfactory factor at all. I'm not eating that food. It stinks. I don't like it. How can I eat something that doesn't smell good? But when I was in India, I don't know how to explain it. Like I could identify the smell, but in the context, it smelled different. I don't know how to explain it, but I ate the hell out of food in India. But in New York, I'm like, I ain't eating that. I am not eating that. So anyway, but I don't know how. I mean, like, even if someone, like, I'm not talking about like what I call the white people smell, but even if somebody was like funky, like perspiration or, body odor, we getting people kicked, like, how they get the person kicked off the plane? Because they were black, Nigerian. Okay. Sam Nzima, the man behind the iconic photo of the fight against apartheid. There is no photo when I think of the icon of the fight against apartheid. There is no image that, hey, conscious of genocide. There is no image that comes to mind. So I was kind of surprised to hear that there is an iconic photo. That implies there is like one that's like, a woman holding iconic photograph taken by legendary photographer Sam Nzima in 1976. I'm not familiar with Sam Nzinga. Nzima. Oh, that's not it. He fled to Johannesburg to escape hard labor. A 90-second look at the decades of injustice. Students protest against the use of Afrikaans in school. So this is like someone holding the image, so you can't really see. Maybe you could see the image, but I'm kind of curious to see what the image is. I don't know. California teen fished his teachers to change grades. PHISHED, his teachers to change grades. So he created like a dummy, hey, love like the sun. He created like a dummy website, and then he sent emails to all his teachers being like, log into this website to add your grades or whatever. I don't know what these computer people do. And so one teacher logged in. By that teacher logging in, he was able to get that teacher's information. And then in turn, he was able to go into the school's real system and there are two different versions of the story. One version is that he just raised his grades, and then there's another version where he lowered some other people's grades. Like, let's say I'm like when I was in school, there was this boy. He was a white boy in my elementary school, Tom Tenhoopin, and we were the two top people in the class. There were some other people who were up there, but it was like basically I had my eye on him. I'm competitive. I was like competing with him, and so it's like me being like raise my grades. I'm gonna lower his grades so that I can like be the top student. So I guess that's one theory of what the child did. But this child is facing 14, or this person, I think they in high school is facing 14 felony counts. Now, I think that felony is worse than a misdemeanor. I think I never can keep them apart, but I think I determined that the shorter word is like the bigger offense. But I don't, y'all let me know. Felony is like serious, right? The child is facing 14 felony charges. Oh, yeah, 14 felony counts. Is a count the same as a charge? California teen, felony is way worse. So, I mean, that's like very serious. And I mean, I don't know, like if you were a child and you broke into the school and went into the file cabinets and so like, is it a felony count to break into the school, then a felony count to like go into the office, then another felony count to break into the cabinet? Like, if you just did it the old fashioned way, do they look at that as much criminally problematic? I was just like, wow. I mean, it seemed like a child trying to change their grades. I'm not saying every child does it or every child should, but I mean, 14 felony counts, that sounds intense to me. Ryan Coogler says he and Michael B. Jordan never let Sylvester Stallone see them unproductive after he questioned their work ethic. Hey, the underrated darkness. Speeding is a misdemeanor. Murder is a felony. Yeah, see, I got it. I made some association because to me, just like it's not really onomatopoeia, but to me, it seemed like it should be like felony is light, misdemeanor. That sounded like a heavier word to me, but I had to like switch it around. But anyway, so the two Black people who are probably very hard workers and have a great work ethic, I don't know, but when you're in the context of working with white people, it's almost like, we know the expression, you have to do twice as much, you have to work twice as hard to get half the credit or half as much or whatever. And I really think in my experience, it feels like I have to work 3 times as hard to get 1/3, the credit and recognition. And I was at a place the other day, and this 70-year-old woman who was working, this 70-year-old woman who was working there told me, and that's like a whole nother story. But I was sitting down, and she said, and the woman came over and she said something, and I was kind of confused because I feel like nobody can outwork me. Yes, running a red light is a misdemeanor. Vehicular homicide is a felony. I feel like it's very few people who have more energy than me. It's very few people who work harder than me. It's very few people who have a more positive attitude than me. Like, I just feel like who gonna outwork me? Like, I don't know. That's just never been, like, I feel like the challenges that I've had, being a hard worker is not, like, I don't feel like I'm like, I feel like I probably overwork. But, so anyway, the woman said something to me, and then the Black woman said, they look at us different. You can't sit like that. I was sitting on the floor comfortable with my legs crossed. I sit with my legs crossed all the time. And I was sitting on a pallet with my legs crossed because, she said she thinks you're sitting down and you're not doing anything. And I actually took it very seriously. I thought it was interesting because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, why is she saying something to me? Why is she saying something to me? So Ryan Coogler says that he and Michael B. Jordan never let Sylvester Stallone see them unproductive after he questioned their work ethic. And I could totally relate and understand it. I got a whole different perspective that day. Yeah. Run from the police, you get effed up. Detroit police show little compassion for teen dying after being tasered. I wasn't really talking about it specifically about Sylvester Stallone. I was really talking about, that as black, the feeling that as black people, I feel like a lot of times we're being watched harder and we're being judged harder, and the standards that we have to live up to are above and beyond the standards that anyone else has to live up to. So if that's your boss, that's the person who hired him to direct um Creed. I think that was I didn't see the movie, but I think that person hired him to direct the movie, and then the black person was the star of it. And so then you see white people, when they see two black people together or five black people together, it's like, oh, it's some shit going down, break them up, it's a problem. And so I just feel like it's part of that whole like dynamic of wherever you are, on the hierarchy, wherever we work, it's sort of like, I feel like we're scrutinized in a different way, and the standards are different for us. And I think that, I'm glad that those young men had the consciousness to be aware of it. And I'm glad that somebody kind of, knocked me on the shoulder and said, hey sis, hey, because I just feel like it's obvious, who I am and what I'm doing. I'm not seeing myself through the lens of this person. I'm seeing myself as I am. So I don't, yeah, that's why it kind of caught my attention. Yale student speaks out, says there should be punitive measures for people who abuse the 911 system. As soon as I saw that article, and I don't know if it's just like that headline, and I don't know if it's just like, that worn down feeling you sometimes can get, sometimes, not all the time. But we're scrutinized whenever we're at work, play, leisure, etc. Yeah, that's true. Oh, they golfing too slow. Call the police. Golfing too slow. Call the police. But I kind of felt like, now, as soon as there's like some rule or something like, oh, if you misuse at 911, you going to jail. And I feel like probably the next thing we gonna hear about is some black person going to jail for misusing 911. That's kind of negative, but that's what I thought. Don't tell anybody, okay? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna cancel. This like how people do when they have weeds. Or when you get perms and your head is itching, but you don't want to scratch because when you get the perm, it's gonna make your scalp hurt. So the chemicals are gonna burn your goddamn whole head. That's what it be. But I was just trying to pat to like get my snap out of it. I agree with her. I think that all of this, but see, it's so confusing because I feel like all of this. On one thought, I feel like on one hand, I kind of feel like all of this, casual calling of 911. Oh, 911! I can't turn on my light switch. Come turn on the light switch is wasting resources. They should be out there doing more important things. Then on the other hand, I'm like, oh my gosh, I guess the more important things that they'd be out there doing is shooting and killing us. So I kind of feel like, well, maybe, I don't know. Occupy their time doing. I don't know, because in the occupation of the time is right. That's exactly right. Those laws were designed to keep us enslaved. You breaking the law for not having a job. You breaking the law for standing too long. Oh, you stole an apple. You picked the apple off that tree. Oh, that's 80 years right there. Oh, you hungry? Oh yeah, that you doing hard time. Whatever, all of that and more and less. I read a book that was talking about it. They weren't called I don't know what they were called. Maybe they were called. Maybe they were slave codes when we were officially enslaved, and then black codes after that. But they were like crazy, like vagrant. It's like ridiculous. Republicans just made it easier for auto companies to rob black consumers. Call evidence of discrimination junk science. So basically they're like, oh, you like what you've been doing anyway. You want to charge, black people more for auto loans? That sounds like a good plan. We ain't opposed to that. Oh, they've done some research to say that you charging black people more for loans? Junk science. Because black people and brown people should pay more for stuff because that subsidizes us, the rich white men with property and power. Why wouldn't they pay more? Why shouldn't we pay less? It's our system. That's what they're here for. They're here in service to us, right? So the Republicans are like, yeah, get all of them that's nonsense, foolishness. It's official. UW postdocs vote to join UAW. I don't know, maybe University of Washington. So a postdoc is someone who has a doctoral degree. They do like these postdoc fellowships, I guess, trying to get connected with universities to get on tenure track. I'm not really sure why people do postdocs. But I am familiar with them. But I guess they're like some type of labor force. Maybe a lot of the postdocs are the ones who are the teaching assistants who oh no, I haven't seen it. I haven't really been. I was on Twitter for like 2 minutes today, but I haven't been on Twitter in like so long. I'm so backed up on so many things. So yeah, Twitter. I don't know if it's Twitter, but Twitter is funny to me sometimes, all the time. Clever. I feel like it's clever. So, and I don't know if the postdocs tend to be like the teaching assistants who teach class, the TAs who teach classes. So, instead of having a professor, it's like a cheaper labor force, a cheaper unionized, poorly compensated, overworked labor force. So I like to hear about people unionizing, even though, I feel like the whole union movement, or not the whole union movement, but most of the union movement is problematic. When I worked at 1199, I really liked those people because they were like black and brown women. And I felt like they were like really, I don't know. I like people who have some spunk and some heart. Yeah. Tidal will debut an unreleased Prince album in 2019. Now, I heard there was something where Tidal had gotten a hold of some Prince stuff. I'm not sure. There was some conversation about whether the spokesperson for Southern Fried Pork Skins. I know I'm missing something now. So Tidal, I had heard that Tidal there was some dispute going where there's some dispute going with Tidal and Prince's family or Prince's estate or whatever, in terms of, because y'all know that Prince, my understanding is Prince was basically like a Walter Mosley. Like every day Prince produced something new, and like the album system can't really support that. Like if you put out a new album every month, it's not going to be enough people to buy it, so they just feel like it's not profitable. So he got all of this stuff in the vault. Prince have all of this stuff in the vault, and so, and y'all, now I like Prince's work. I like Prince's work a lot. I like the poetry of it. Like, some of the stuff is like on one level it doesn't make sense, but then on a poetic level, like in your heart, it's like it's like something translates into your mind, and you like, I knew a guy named Nikki. I guess you could say he was a sex fiend. It's like you say it and it's like, that makes total sense. But if you like look at it, don't never let the elevator bring you down. You'd be like, well, what does it mean? But you know what it means. Little red Corvette. I mean, I just thought Prince was really, poetically, like there was some interesting things going on. Musically, he was talented. So, I mean, I don't have Tidal. I heard somebody reporting the other day that some European company was saying that Tidal was overinflating their numbers, and she didn't know if they were like going after Tidal because Tidal was black, or if Tidal was doing the overinflation because they black and they trying to hustle and be like Negroes are and just steal and lie and cheat. She didn't know what to think. You got to listen with an open mind. You're so right. And it's like the feeling too. It's not just the words, because I like the words, but it's like the music. He was the real deal and so ahead of his time. So Aquarian. He was he is so it's sort of like some of that stuff that's going to come out of the vault. It's going to be like when we get to hear it, it's going to seem like it's like right now. We're going to find out that's from like 80 years ago. Oh, Prince made that when he was 6. After we're like, did he just make this? It's going to be like, no, that's old. But we go. So 2019. I hope Prince is someplace just going. I hope he ain't worried about what's going on this plane, and that he created the music, and I hope we get to enjoy it. And I guess I feel like I don't want anybody to steal or lie or cheat. So this is gonna sound weird, and I don't mean it exactly like this, but I feel like if somebody steals or lies or cheats, and gets credit for Prince's work, if somebody is going to steal and lie and cheat, I don't want it to be the black person, but I feel like I don't know. I'm so conflicted because I don't. Let me just So that's it. That's Title and Prince. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket has roughly 300 launches before retirement. This is a private rocket, right? The SpaceX. I feel the man was a genius, one of the greatest entertained, but Prince was a musical genius. Michael Jackson was, it's some talented people out here. There are some, I mean, but they're like a whole next level. And then like Prince's performance, like, and then and then it's so weird because it's like, it's counterintuitive. Like, he's short, he's like wearing these frilly clothes, like, it's just like it's amazing. His, I just thought it was just like really just like I guess Michael Jackson in the same way too. Michael Jackson has some really interesting work. It's a lot of people out here who are really, really talented. So I don't know about this SpaceX rocket, but I think it's private. So this is not like a government rocket. There's some company out here who is launching rockets, and there's like a whole Jimi Hendrix. Now I never got into Jimi Hendrix. Because people say he's a genius, and I listened to his work, and maybe because there weren't words when I heard it, and I think I usually come in through words. So I don't know if I could just you know come in through the music. I don't know. BMW's wireless car charging pad arrives this summer. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by these electric cars. I'm like, do you plug them in? When you plug them in, how long does the charge last? When you out on the road, if you like take a road trip, where can you plug it in again? So this is like a pad. So I guess it's sort of like, just like they have these things now where you just lay your phone on top of it and it charges. I guess you just drive your car in and it charges. I don't know why. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, how does it work? I just conceptually, I'm like I understand the gas station, and I understand some roads you get on. It's like it's no gas station for a long time, so go on and fill up now. Um, Michael would have taken over the movie industry. Um, I never know how to pronounce your name. Tucson Lubumbo. I don't know. I'm sorry. Hi, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Um, yeah, and it's funny. It's also funny because you think of like talent and art and production, and then there's like the business and like the conflict between like the business and the art. And like, why is there a conflict? Like, why can't these artists just be out here being artists, doing their thing, giving us life? Because that's what art, to me, that's what art does. It's like we not that we need life. It doesn't literally give us life, but like giving us life. Why you gotta put it in the vault? We could have been, let's go crazy. All, we, 19, we could have been all of that all along. Y'all gonna make me go get some Prince. I used to love me some Prince. I know why doves cry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Toussaint Bissell. I missed that whole thing trying to look at your name. On May 14th, 1985. Oh, so it is today. On May 14th, 1985, I was starting high school in 1985. Lives were lost and homes were destroyed, move bombing. And so rest in peace to the lives that were lost during the move bombing. If you're not familiar with the incident, if you are familiar with the incident, there's a video on YouTube that I linked on my last video called "We Are Human." Toussaint El Bisso. Bisso. Oh. Like Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint. I'm from Detroit. We say Toussaint. I think it's in French. So El Bisso. El Bisso. Mm. So if you have not seen I'm gonna watch the video again. It's an hour and a half. It's on the Philly the bombing. Yeah. I know people who can like listen to music in the same way that like I think sometimes I could recognize people's voices. Like if they're singing, I'm like, oh, that sounds like Cassandra Wilson, or oh, that sounds like Nina Simone, or some people can recognize like, oh, that sounds like so and so playing the guitar, or that sounds like so and so playing the saxophone. And I just, an extent, but like with the instrument, I'm just like, that is really an African country. And then he wasn't in leadership, and then the stuff was like out of control, and he like retook leadership of the African country because he like, oh, we're not gonna have it out of control as long as I'm alive. Is that Thomas Sankara? Because if that's who it, if that's yeah, but so check out the Philadelphia move bombing. I do have a link to the video in the last video that I put out. I think it's worth, even if you are familiar with, I think it's worth, watching the video. May we always remember those. In the video, I said those who have fallen. But really, when I thought about it, I'm like, may we always remember and celebrate those who have risen in our fight to be free and in their fight to be free. So let me, just correct that for the record. We've risen, we've transformed into ancestors, and they're fighting on our behalf. India dust storms, at least 61 dead in 4 states. And also Ramona, Africa was here a couple of years ago. That's when we saw the film. And it makes me wonder about like some of the young people who survived it. Like, how are they, like, in their hearts and in their soul, and how are they living? And yeah, it seems like it would have been a traumatic experience. And I wonder if it like, sort of broke them in a way, or if it made them stronger. India dust storms, at least 61 dead in 4 states. It seems like within the last couple of weeks, was it dust storms? There was some other weird event. I think it was dust storms in India, and a bunch of people made their transition. And somebody was like, oh, they're testing weather control products over in India right now, I guess. It's like 29 million birds in the backyard. I've been watching like 4 sitting on a wire up there but it's like, I don't know what's going on. It's a lot of activity, bird activity. So rest in peace to the 61 people who made their transition. I don't know what a dust storm. I just can't even conceptualize. Like, yeah. I mean, I guess in the desert, sandstorms. A virtuoso. Android malware returned to Google Play with just a name change. So there was like some stuff in the App Store, Google Play, I think is their App Store, and you could, and it was like malware. Like if you bought it, it was about to jack up your phone, your life. It was trying to like get you. And so they like, y'all got to go because you bad mal. You got to go. Oh, Thomas Sankara. Okay. Yeah, I'll check. I think it's who I'm thinking of. But I have to. I wasn't like when I came. I just kind of stumbled upon him, and yeah, Thomas Sankara. So they like, y'all gotta go. You can't be in the Google Play Store anymore because you're bad. You gotta go. And so now they back. They just changed their name or changed their producer or both. Instead of being like, this is malware by Angela, now it's called badware by Julala. And they like it's the same thing. They just changed their name and changed their producer, or I don't know if producer is the proper term, but so that's what's going on in the Android Google store, Google Play. The Afghan girls returning to school. So they say the schools have been empty, I guess, because the girl children weren't allowed to go to school. I don't know if they have special schools that are like just dedicated to girls when they're allowed to go to school. It just kind of made me sad. I don't know, because I feel like I, I like to learn and study and read and do math, and I like school, and I feel like it was an important part of my development. I may not be like the most intellectually sophisticated person out there, but I'm certainly not the least intellectually sophisticated person out there. Like, I deserve to be educated. Like, I just feel like I feel for the little girls. Like, why is this even an issue? Why is it even an issue? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I would have been a better person if I had just studied home economics, because I sure don't have a mastery of the economics of the home. But I'm just saying, I'm not the best sweeper and vacuumer and duster and all of that, but I have some other things going for me, and that's not everybody. God, I get so tired of that mess. So anyway, the Afghan girls are returning to school, and it's a bird right here on this windowsill. Surabaya attacks, family of five bomb Indonesia police headquarters. So we were talking about this yesterday. Family of six bombs three churches. The mother and the two girls went to one church and bombed. The two little boys on their motorcycles went someplace else and bombed. And the father went someplace else and bombed, right? That's the story we were talking about yesterday. I think that was in Indonesia, and I think it was Surabaya. I don't know how you pronounce it. But so when I saw this at first, I'm like, I think this is a family of five bombing the Indonesia police headquarters. It's a whole different story. But it seems like it's a continuation of the same story. Like, so is this like the family bombing week or something? Like, what's going on? I didn't look at this article, so I don't know any details about, who the what this family was or whatever, but what is going on? So prayers out to the people who made, their transition in the Indonesian police headquarters. I'm supposed to be going. I'm supposed to be going to see the Grace Jones movie tonight, and I didn't even know there was a Grace Jones movie. So I don't know when that's. Some people are people of their word. When they say something, you can count on them. And then there are other people who are more casual with their word. Naomi Musenga death. Emergency operator blames pressure after mocking caller. So I think this is the person we heard of. What's the title of the Grace High? I don't know. It's coming to the art house here. I didn't even bother to look it up because I figure a lot of times when stuff comes to that theater, it's only a couple of days. When I got the invitation, I'm like, oh, that sounds like something I would do. I don't think it's something that I would like go out of my way to do. Like, I might go out of my way to go see Earth, Wind and Fire August 18th when they come to Detroit. But I don't know if I go out of my BOND. I said your family needs to be buying your word. Yeah, I understand what you meant. So I don't know. I haven't even bothered to look it up because it's not like, oh, if we don't go, I'm going. Because I'm like, usually stuff is just there for 2 seconds anyway. And I didn't even know it was there. And yeah. I mean, if I see it, I'm sure it'll be interesting because she seems like she was an interesting person. But I'm not like, oh, Grace Jones, I got to go see it. So, yeah. So I think this was in France. I think we talked about this story yesterday. I'm not positive that it was in France, but the woman called the emergency operator, and she's basically like, I'm sick, I'm dying. And the emergency operator is like, whatever, go to the hospital or whatever. She was just very like dismissive. And the woman made her transition. Her name was Naomi Musenga. So rest in peace to Naomi Musenga. And it's just a shame that anyone, like, I feel like we are all gonna make our transition, but I just wish for all of us that when we make our transition, that we're surrounded by kindness and love, and of course, the ancestors, I'm sure, greeted her with kindness and love, and she was probably surrounded by kindness and love in a way that I just can't perceive. That's what I'm just gonna hope and just believe. But it just seems like as humans, we can be nice to each other. Like but this woman say that the reason she did that, that she was mocking the caller, mocking Mama Naomi, is because of her pressure. She was, so basically to me, it sounded like a case of, I don't know if she white, but it sounded like a case of white tears to me, like I was under so much pressure, but this woman is dead. So I don't know. I don't feel bad for her. So much incompetence and callousness in every field, even 911 operators. And I feel like there should be, I guess it's so much that could be reformed. Like if someone is going to be a police officer who says we are all human, sounds like I'm trying to make a joke, but I'm not. And I was thinking about that, the other day. I was actually thinking about it today in the context of the mothers of humanity. And the way that I've always interpreted it as is I have always thought of I'm just having I'm entertaining some different ideas about humanity than I have in the past. So I don't know, I might need to read about this calcified pineal gland. I don't know if we're all humans. I really don't. I'm not clear anymore. I feel like I used to be clear, but um, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Um, Spanish father accused of evil spirits rape. Um, so this person, um, I guess, raped his daughter and her children. Um, Not her children. Girls were allegedly told they had to be purged of evil spirits. A father in Spain is accused of raping his 15-year-old daughter and two of her friends, not two of her children, two of her friends, after claiming that he had to rid them of evil spirits. So just, peace to those people. And I don't know if I should be using, I don't know, like, and I feel like I don't know how do I determine, I don't know. But I do wish peace to those people who have experienced rape, peace and healing in this particular case. And any of us who have witnessed violence, who have experienced violence directed at us, who have been violated, directly, indirectly, repeatedly, one time, 10 times, 100 times. Sometimes it feels like every day, we get multiple violations. Like, well, God, can we get just one day of break of not being violated? just one day. So just, staying connected to good and God, and not being distracted by things that are not good and not God. Ramadan we talked about that. Facebook found 200 more apps that may have misused your data. Okay, so again, I told y'all I'm leaving Facebook, but yeah, it's just it just this keeps mushrooming. It's mushrooming. It's growing. It's escalating. And I don't think it's isolated to Facebook. I'm just leaving Facebook. 15 fruits and vegetables you should never buy organic. I thought this was like the headline was really weird. I'm like, why should you never buy them organic? But basically they're saying, yeah. Is that the Three Little Birds on My Windowsill song? On my window, saying, don't worry. Oh no, that's Don't Worry About a Thing. Well, maybe in 500 years, or maybe in 100 years, or maybe in 50 years, or, some of these things will be like distant memories. That's sometimes what I think about, like when I'm experiencing some things, like, like if I have cramps and I already know like more or less what the cycle is, like, just from experience that, in like 2 days, I'm gonna be feeling like 150% again. So it's sort of like I tell myself that. So like then I think like, well, maybe, in 50 years, 100 years, 500 years, this will just be like, remember when black people used to be like under attack all the time? And we just go on and dance off and, paint a picture and, blow a whistle or something. You know what I mean? Like, what do they say? Carefree, black boy joy, carefree, that stuff. Oh, you got another avatar. We won't survive the next 50 years with the way things are. I guess that's one way to look at it. I don't choose to believe that. But maybe that's naive. I don't know. Yeah, I don't choose to. I'm not, yeah. So from the headline, 15 fruits and vegetables you should never buy organic. It was almost like if you buy them organic, something bad will happen. That's how I interpret it. But they're basically like, it's no point in buying it organic, like avocados. Like less than 1% of them are compromised, so don't even worry. I don't eat avocados. Avocados are supposed to be really tasty and really good for you. I'm thinking that one day I'm going to mature enough to like actually try them. Like tabbouleh. Never tasted one because they're green. And then people say they taste buttery. Like people, like a lot of times when I ask people, well, how does it taste? They just say, oh, it's good. Most people can't really tell you stuff about food when And then sometimes when people tell me I think the best thing I've heard is buttery. But I'm like, Chipotle is being forced to pay $8 million to an ex-manager who was fired after being accused of 626. I love avocados. So this person was accused of stealing $626. They were a manager. They were accused of stealing like less than $1,000, less than $700, $626. And oh dang, I just came out of the thing. And so they sued the company. And they're getting I think it was 8 million. We about to go back up to the story. I think it's $8 million that they're getting. And I guess it's like part of this whole conversation about like this separation, not as you talk about it, Iyapo, but this idea that, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, well, that has nothing to do with this. These things are not. And you have to, like, it's so important, I think, to look at things in the broader context. Like this shooting here is connected to this shooting here. That's why when we're workers and we organize together and we talk about our experiences, we start to see the connections. We start to see the themes. So this idea of like separating things. So it's like, well, this case here is totally different from a murderation case or a beatation case. Murderation, beatation, a beating and murder, these cases where people are getting beaten and murdered. This is something totally different. But I'm just looking at it and it's like, so the person was accused of stealing $626. I guess they lost their job, stopped working. I don't know if it prevented them from getting another job or whatever, but they're getting $8 million. It just seems so like when you put it in the context, it's like it just seems so crazy and disproportionate, and like I don't even know how is that even possible? Like, I know there is some injury to losing your job and being falsely accused of something, but is that injury, like when I look at the injuries that we've experienced, I just thought that was just like shocking. Like, I don't even know how to comprehend that. It's just, Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman says he was fired from a TV show. Things are connected. Hey, Andres. Things are connected. Yeah, of course. Of course they're connected. More than Karen Gaines' family. Yeah, I'm thinking that if I look at this stuff, it's no sense. It's no, and I don't know, maybe this Chipotle manager was Black. I don't know. I would be surprised. I don't. Black Panther star. This It's a lot of this. The third story. Okay? Isn't he the one who said I'm not from Wakanda, or was that the other one? I get them confused. Says he was fired from a TV show after questioning his stereotypical role. I found myself conflicted. Get out of here with that quantum physics, Yapo. Ain't nobody got time for that. um, so, and then I think the person who wrote the article was theorizing that he left the role and the person who got the role was someone else that was in Black Panther. So it's sort of like, you know, is that the safe word? Big breastises. So it's sort of like it makes me kind of, think about, like, you're in a situation. Got $2. Well, they probably, well, I don't know. They seem so. Were they? They seem kind of like a little bit. I just heard them talk a couple of times, but it seemed like something was a little unusual about them. Oh, I give you Wakanda today with that look. So he's, it's sort of like, I guess, this feeling of you can, there's always somebody waiting to replace you. Like, you can stand up on principle if you want to, and you can stand up on principle and go over there and be hungry and starve. Although of course he's not hungry and starving, he's doing well. But it's sort of like there's this feeling a lot of times, like if you say certain things or question certain things, that it's going to jeopardize your ability to survive in this society, and so you just kind of like sometimes feel like you have to like go along with some bull to get along, and if you're too problematic, then how do you survive? How do you eat? How do you what you do? What do the problematic ones among us do? The ones who can't go along to get along too good. What do we do? Like, I mean, practically and pragmatically, because you can't eat principles. You know what I mean? I mean, they feed your soul in a certain way, but I don't know. A new generation of high school athletes will play eSports. So is eSports like, that's video games? Is it video games like, is it the Wii or the Y? Remember when you could like play tennis, but you'd have to at least move your arm to play tennis, or you would do like the Michael Jackson choreography, but you had to actually do it? We unite and build and support our own businesses. We unite and build and support our own businesses. I know the times that I've had businesses, it seems like, well, the one time, now I have an ongoing business forever, but the one like storefront business I had, it seemed like, and maybe that was like unique to Mississippi, I don't know. And I was listening to somebody do a YouTube video maybe yesterday, and somebody said something, it was interesting, not because this is my belief system, but somebody said something about Black businesses, and he was like, well, hold on a second. I feel like if you got a struggle business for, when you first start off, that's cool, but 5 years out, you shouldn't have a struggle business. Why should I go to your business? Blah, 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 blah. And I think that someone had started the conversation saying there's no reason for us to not have control of the hair care business. And I think that's like a whole like in-depth, like, I think it's not a casual conversation. I think it's a real conversation. But there was like so much hostility, and it's sort of like, I mean, I have been in some Black businesses that are janky, and I've been in some Black businesses that are really nice. I've been in some Black businesses where people seem to struggle with service provision, and I've been in other Black businesses where people seem to provide outstanding service, and the same thing for non-Black businesses. And I feel like from my perspective, I am way more likely, if I'm way more likely to give a Black business a chance. Yeah. Yeah. Dang. I'm way more likely to give a Black business a chance. Like, so I feel like if I'm going to take some janky service, it's probably going to be from a Black business. Now, I'm not trying to take no janky service for, hey, Information Man Show. I'm not trying to take no janky service in general. That's not really a chance or two or more, because I feel like fighting and love you too. We be fighting and knocking and scratching on the door. Please let us come into your restaurant. Please let us sit at your lunch counter. Please let us use your Starbucks bathroom. I mean, we be fighting to get into their businesses. I feel like we have to have that same fight and more. 7-3. We have to have that same fight and more for our, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I was talking about esports. I don't even know, especially as an actor, you can have a job today and next week you won't. Yes, yes. We need to control the hair business. That's big money. I think we need to totally withdraw from the hair business. That's why the last time I did a rap, I went out, at first I was like, I was researching rapping with the fake hair. And then I'm like, fuck it. Excuse me. I was like, forget it. And I did yarn. Now I did go to Michael's and I was not feeling good about that. I couldn't seem to find a black place or a small Michael's or one of these big things. I couldn't seem to find a local place to buy any goddamn yarn. But I rapped with yarn. I'm like, I ain't buying none of that. Yeah. And not only do they have it cornered in our neighborhoods, but they have schools and institutions in Korea, and they have publications in the Korean language explaining, like they have, and it's deep. I mean, I just feel like we should totally withdraw from all of that. I feel like we should just totally withdraw from all of that. Like, I guess it's easy for me because, it's also interesting because I feel like as women, there's so much hostility, or I don't know if it's so much because when I used to when I first shaved my head bald and then I let it grow and shave it. Now there would be some people like every once in a while I catch a look at like in the morning I just get up and put some oil on my hair and like go or whatever, some water oil. And then every once in a while, like every 2 or 3 months, I like pass myself in the mirror and then I look at my husband and be like, how the hell have you been letting me walk around with my hair like this? Okay, tonight you are shaving my head. And then we shave it and we start again. But even during those times before I would look up and be like, my hair looks just wild, I would be getting compliments all the time. No, oh, y'all talking to each other. I would be getting compliments all the time. And so, sorry, y'all. This daggone battery. But I'm talking about when it would like grow out and it would just be doing its own thing. And in a way, I just feel like, but yesterday, I don't know what live I was on, but it was like, somebody, you could at least comb your hair, not talking to me specifically, but I felt like in the same way that when I first had locks, I had what's called bougie locks. So somebody, a male friend, it's always men, but one of my friends' boyfriends, who was a friend of mine, started my locks for me, and they were precise. No, I'm talking to you. You looked awesome bald. I don't know. I feel like you look how you look. But thank you. But so my locks were bougie locks, but like the men that I've been married to have both had locks, and they have not been bougie locks. They've just been like, where you, and some people are very hostile, like, well, your locks are nice and neat. And they might not know that I'm like married to some like wild heathen with just wild locks. And they'd be like, well, your locks are nice and neat. I can't stand those wild locks. And I'm like, why are we? And that was the same vibration. Like, you could at least, if it's like, even though when I would see that my hair looked a certain way, I would be like, oh my gosh. But like the day before, if I had seen it, I'd have thought it was cute. Like, but it seemed like we have so much hostility and so much something toward, I got locks, Angela. They had a son when she was still white. Y'all talking about Rachel, I guess. But, I feel like we should just like withdraw from all of that. I feel like we should just withdraw from all of that. And I know that grooming can be very, very important to people, particularly some types of people, probably like Libras. Like I imagine like, the way you dress, your comportment, like shine shoes, like all of those things are very important to some people. But I just feel like it's not as important as other things. But that's a whole other we shouldn't personally, I don't understand this huge investment people seem to have in what other people do. Right. Like I'm like, if she like her hair wild, okay, why do I care? But it seems like, people get some people, not everybody, because most people probably, you only notice it with the people who say it. Most people probably don't care because they busy living their life. My sister, something, you know, because I just be like, oh, I don't know if I like that, but if you, that's cool. I mean, what's your heart like? What's your spirit like? What's your, who are you like? And that's some sort of reflection of you in a way, but I just feel like, dude, you know, do that. Don't come on. Let's stay focused on what's important. So the esports. So I'm like, so what is this esports? A new generation of high school athletes will play esports. So they're going to be going to school on the internet. They're going to be playing esports. Do you just play esports like this with your joystick? So you just move do they even have joysticks or your thumbs? So you just move your thumbs, or do you play esports like you have to do like this if you're playing basketball? So you at least lift your arms up. How do esports work? Does anybody know? I'm like, I don't even understand the concept. And this just seems like crazy to me. So anyway, that's what the headline says. This is coming off of Engadget. They have championship games online, like for basketball, and like I've never played like they had this game, I've heard of it, where it's like a big basketball game, but I can't think of what it's called. But I think that game, you're not like actually playing, you just like doing like this. All kinds of games and sports. Yeah. And then some people tend to be late. Okay. So I done lost the thing again. All of this jerking and gyrating and ranging and twisted and ranging. I wish I played games. What's that joke? They tried to. I beat up my teacher because she tried to make me go to There's some little joke about recess. I don't know. Okay. So are they athletes? Are you an athlete if you're playing? It says a new generation of high school athletes. Is that athleticism? I think I might have a different argument. Pompeo describes what it was like meeting Kim Jong-un. He watches American TV. He doesn't need note cards to discuss complex topics. Some people have really yeah, did I have PE daily? It seemed like we had it 2 or 3 times a week. When the Catholic school that I went to, and from the 5th grade for a couple years, they used to have mass every day, but by the time I got there, we just had mass once a week. So I'm imagining gym class was mandatory. That's the sign of the times. Talking about Prince again. So some people are have been blessed with really solid minds, and then some people are just hustlers who are lucky, I guess. Nintendo used to work the heck out of you. How? Nintendo? I don't know nothing about Nintendo. I know about Atari. And Miss Pac-Man, the Nintendo pad. And who was that? Donkey Kong. DR Congo, why tourists go to Virunga National Park. I think they said that Virunga National Park, I knew about Odyssey 2. I don't know about Odyssey 2. I think I was limited. I was not like a video person. But I did play those games. One of Africa's most stunning parks. Have you heard of Virunga National Park? The killing of a ranger and the abduction of 2 British tourists who were later released. A suspension of tourism. Boasting Africa's most diverse wildlife, Virunga, which stretches across 3,000 square miles. There are supposed to be 1,500 to 2,000 armed fighters who are in the park. They fish illegally, slaughter its animals. It's like they probably just figure it's like, the wild. Pong beat. I remember how video games sounded. I remember how much stress I used to feel playing Miss Pac-Man. And when I would watch people who were like good play, it would be like they would be so relaxed. Like when they were, like they would be about to get caught and they just like turn and they would be relaxed though. And then they would like turn. And it was like my anxiety would be going up. And it's like then I couldn't function. And they were I was like so impressed. Like it's like I want to be like that, but I don't know. Like I don't know if that's a different personality, if I could like train myself to be like that. But I was like fascinated. Like they would just be so relaxed. And it worked. Are there benefits to Pong? I don't think I heard of Pong. You had to get into the zen of it. And I got into the stress of it. That's old school. Okay. A visit to Virunga is a once in a lifetime experience with its forests, savannas, lava plains, swamps, erosion valleys, active volcanoes, and the glaciated peaks of the Arwenzori Mountains. I think there's a fly in here. I can't even blame anybody for leaving the door open. Okay. Um, Gaza clashes, dozens killed as U.S. opens Jerusalem embassy. So when we talked yesterday, when about the fact that the president's daughter and her husband were in the Middle East to move the American embassy from one place to another place that was contested. We didn't really talk about the politics of it because I was just like, oh my God, she's so tall. I didn't realize she was so tall. And she just looks so tall and blonde to me. I don't know why that kind of just caught my attention. I got distracted. But dozens of people have been killed, in that clash. And I think a lot of people are feeling where there was some hope or there was some like leverage to be like there is hope. I think now a lot of people are feeling like there is no hope in that region. And so I think there's like the hopelessness and like well fuck it, I mean, excuse me, we'll forget it, we just you know so I'm not sure. I guess I'm not surprised to see that there have been, dozens killed. I'm curious to see if they're basically Palestinians. That's the impression that I have. Like when dozens get killed, it's like, yeah, sorry. I guess, I just assume it's going to be the browner people, or the underdogs. And, I don't know why I would love to see a story because is it going to make me happy if it's like, I hate, like it's kind of like it get on my nerves like in movies, like why we always got to be the ones getting killed, why, and then in the conflicts, why I got to hear so much about Palestinians dying, why don't I hear about some other people dying? If it's a conflict, let's see some parity here and losses. Why we always got to be losing more? And not that I'm Palestinian, but I identify because I feel like you know it feel like the same old type of bull that feel very familiar to me. um San Paulo fire search for victims called off. So this fire was a couple weeks ago. There are still, I think, two people who are missing. This is the building where they said the people were squatting in it, and they said the first character to die had to be a brother. That's like the recipe, ain't it? Let's see, no daggone Avengers Infinity. White Wisconsin cop caught on video punching black teen. Nigerian woman to sue airline claiming she was booted from flight after white man complained of odor. So we already talked about that earlier. New York Times finds that marijuana arrests are heavily tilted toward blacks, Latinos. Sometimes you feel like you in that the movie I've never seen. Is it Groundhog Day, where the stuff just be repeating? It's like this ain't nothing new. It's SSDD. Like, ain't they already done that study? Like the New York. Okay. India dust storms, at least 39 dead in 4 states. So again, rest in peace to those people. Black sorority members performing a community service are questioned by police. Okay, so I think we've looped back around to the yesterday's. I have to get on my thing. I gotta update my my little title things as I shuffle my cards. What's new and good with you? What are you looking forward to? Do you have any exciting news about your family, from your community, from the world? Something we need to be celebrating and acknowledging. Oh, the deck is feeling better in my hands. That's good. There's a tarot workshop that I went to last year at the Black-owned bookstore, and I guess the Bible who taught it last year is teaching it again this year. And last year he was offering a class, but my schedule didn't allow me to take it. But I feel like I need to be studying again, like not just by myself, you know. They say a lot of times we need you know, mentors and support. We can't figure everything out by ourselves. Yeah. Oh, I like the song. I listened to it. Now the imagery was kind of interesting to me, but I just listened to that one song. I didn't listen to any other songs. But I think it was on YouTube that I watched it. So I think that she'll probably come back up on my suggested videos again. So thank you for the recommendation. I appreciate it. So the universe is this deck is called The Universe Has Your Back. I mean, the universe has your back. If it was my deck, it'd be called The Universe Got Your Back. But my vibes speak louder than my words. It has butterflies on it. My vibes speak louder than get out on a night and stand in the midst of a field, kick off your shoes and let your bare feet look up in the stars and understand something. Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to walk around barefoot all the time. In Detroit. I'm from Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, Highland Park. I grew up in the city. I used to run around barefoot all the time. I don't go outside barefoot anymore. But when I would garden, I had these slippers, and so dirt would get on my feet and stuff. And then some people I know, they'll like sit up against trees and communicate. I don't do that. I do like to look at the stars. I couldn't read all of what you were saying. So that's it. Oh wait. Look at the stars and understand you are connected to all of it, even the furthest star you can see. Important to be barefooted to make the connection. I know. I mean, I don't know about that specific thing, but I have heard, you know, the grounding. And you know what? Probably, you know, I probably do need to do a grounding because I'm noticing like I'm getting like very like almost like, you know, was about to break down and cry. I'm like, okay, just talk about something else. You know, I just can't take one more day of this. You know, y'all gonna see me like break down on notes on the news. And it's gonna be like zip, zip, and it's gonna go out. And you're gonna be like, oh my God, what happened, Angela? That's not true. I'm not claiming that. I'm just being silly. That's not really funny, but so yeah, I need to do some grounding work. So maybe that's something I'll try because it's clearly I'm you know, it's some rotation, vibration going on that need to be settled down. Now I've never done sun gazing either. I read about it, but I never did it. But if, let me call this Taurus, because I'm supposed to be hanging out with this Taurus. That's probably, let me get off of here and see, because I probably need some earth energy. Like, I probably need some, because I'm here with these fire. Yeah, I probably need some earth energy. So let me go get some earth energy. Today is the best day ever. Before integration, I've gathered around the fire. We do bonfire over at the Goddess. She do bonfires over there, but I've been to bonfires. I've been to sweat lodges, and you kind of get a similar vibration. Now I overdid it when I went to the sweat lodge and I got sick the first time. The second time I learned it's like a sauna. Bring it all back. Bring it all back. Yes. Yes. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yeah. I like the idea of it. I like this one. I like a sauna in the steam room. I love a sauna in the steam room. I told y'all when I was in Atlanta, my cousin had like a portable sauna in the basement, and I saunaed every day that I was there. And I'm like, it's probably like only $2,000 or $3,000. I should get me a sauna because I love a sauna. Okay. So if no one has anything new and good to report, interesting. If no one has anything new and good to report, stargazing is good and maybe new to some people. Yeah. Or anything that they're looking forward to, anything exciting coming up on the horizon that we need to know about. Oh, okay. I'll have to check her out more. Yeah. So if not, we just gonna call it a thing. We gonna call a thing a thing. And say goodbye. Bye. Peace. Jim Crow Museum. August. Email me at befabulousyou@gmail.com if you're interested. In Michigan, near Idlewild, Michigan, at Ferris State University in Big Rapids, and a meal after in Grand Rapids at a Black-owned restaurant, and maybe a meal before in Detroit at a Black-owned restaurant. I'm thinking if we like eat breakfast at like 8 in the morning, 8, 9, 10, that'll give us enough time to get to the museum. I think it's 3 or 4 hours from here. So I don't know. Who feel like getting up early in the morning to eat? Then you got to eat a big heavy meal. But there look like some interesting restaurants in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids, right? So if you know of any good Black-owned restaurants in Grand Rapids with wholesome food, some wholesome food options, spread the word. So how are you, Bonafide 1970? How are you, Information Man? I'll meet at the museum and probably do lunch afterwards. Yeah, but there was one person, I still have to check on my notes, who said he's in Detroit. So, it seemed like you can do a caravan. So I don't know. I don't know shoot, it might be some other people in Detroit. When he said he was in Detroit, I'm like, what? Who told you could be in Detroit and me not know? I'm great. How are you? All right, so we've exchanged. He already said he's well, so we've exchanged all those greetings. Anybody else have any greetings we need to do? If I see the Grace Jones movie, I'll probably do a little reaction. So yeah, I guess if not this Taurus, I need to find me a Virgo or Capricorn. Nah, probably need to find me somebody to hang out with, vibe with, settle me down. Take it down 1,000. Take it down 1,000. So again, it's on purpose that we are here together. It's wonderful. It's a blessing. I give thanks for you. You are blessed for blessing. Peace. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous. You. Peace.